You're going to see Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be out there going up against the Lions for at least the first half. Andy Reid, not afraid to put his guys out there. He's not worried about injuries. Dan Campbell has said you may see a few defensive guys out there. I don't think you're going to see any offensive players out there playing. I look at that and I wonder, man, should the Lions be playing some of their starters? And the reason why I say that, and I've said it before, back when there was 4 preseason games, the dress rehearsal game was game number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Starters would play half the game. It's what it was the best glimpse of what the team was going to look like. It looks like the Lions none of your main guys are going to see any playing time in the preseason. But when I see Kansas City going out there, I want to see the Lions play some guys because it's going to be good versus good. Kansas City, I mean, granted, the plays and things may be vanilla, but still, you're going up against the best team in the league. This would give me a better opportunity to see, okay, we have a month to fix this, okay? Because Mahomes tore us up. Or your guys go out there and you're like, you know what? We're a lot further along than I thought we were.
But because you even mentioned that it's going to be a lot of vanilla, I don't know how much fixing there is to do. And while I'm not opposed to certain players, I agree with Dan Campbell. Certain things work for certain teams. Last year, most of the Lions, if any, hardly any of them, played in the preseason. Last year worked pretty damn well. The Kansas City Chiefs, on the other hand, they play guys. They won the Super Bowl. Things went pretty well for them, too. So I think a coach has to know his players, know his team, and I think for the Lions, it works for them. They don't need to see that offense go up against the Chiefs. There's no chance you want to, and people say, oh, you were worried about getting hurt, you're a wuss. Yeah, maybe. Okay?
I mean, at some point, Stoney, it's football. Okay?
I understand that.
And the whole, I don't want anybody to get hurt. It happens, man. They can get hurt in practice. So I'd rather see you go out there, and it's not like this is something we haven't seen before.
Oh, I know.
Because it used to be this was the game that you would see your starters out there for at least a quarter or a half, and you would get a gauge on what the team is.
But they didn't have, like, the Lions only did one of them. Kansas City doesn't do any. But back in the day, you really didn't have that many of those joint scrimmages that they have now where they really go at it. So I think
your joint scrimmage, the Giants. Listen, I mean, really, was it a joint scrimmage? You
Yeah.
probably get better play going up against your own guys.
No, I think ones on ones, if you were talking about like the offensive line of the Lions, as good as it is, having Sewell go up against, Dexter Lawrence, or, you got Burns, you got Thibodeau. That stuff is good. And that's what they work on in those things. So if they didn't have that, I would tend to agree with you. I do want to actually see Onwuzurike play. I want to see James Houston play. Other than that, whatever.
I mean, I'd rather see them kind of get the rust off and engage. Okay, we have a month to fix this. We got a month to improve on this. Or you know what? This is further ahead. 248-539-9797. Am I just on an island here? Because I think I'm the only one that says I would like to see some of the guys
You're
play.
not on an island, and I don't know if this will make you feel any better. Rieger believes in playing starters too.
Not helping my case at all.
You asked the question, are you
know
on an
what?
island?
I'm
And
sorry.
I said no.
You know what? Listen,
That's a great character reference right there. You got
That's right.
Rieger on your
That's
team.
You know
right.
what? What's your favorite condiment? 248. No, seriously. I would like to see the Lions play some of their guys at least a quarter. And probably the only one that would be excused would be Gibbs or any of those, like Terrion, any of those guys, Rakestraw, who were injured this game. But other than that, yeah, I'd like to see Goff go out there for a couple of series. And just, what do you have? Let's throw the ball around. Let's just go out there. If I was Dan Campbell, I would tell the first string starters, here's the deal. Drive down the field, score a touchdown, and you're done. Show me. You can go down there. You can get this done. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, but three and out. You got to play again?
Well, you got to go back out there. That's another series. I mean, I'm only going to play. I would probably put you out there 2, maybe 3 series. But if you want your day to be over quickly, here's your incentive.
It's not
go out there, score.
It's not a hill I'm really willing to die on, but I prefer the important players don't play. If they did play, okay, I'm not going to go crazy about it. However, I'll be honest. If he played Goff or played St. Brown or played Hutch or any of those guys, and they got severely injured, I'd be pissed at Dan Campbell. And I know they could get hurt during the next
So if they get hurt in
practice.
practice, are you going to be pissed at Dan Campbell?
No.
Why were they practicing? You don't need to know what they do when they practice. They could just sit out.
I admit, in this discussion, my favorite philosopher is Hippocrates. Yes,
that's what this is.
I agree. I admit it.
But practice is more controlled.
Yeah.
While injuries happen, practice is more controlled.
A controlled blown ACL.
What? No, Rick. But you can't say if they get injured in practice, you're going to yell at the coach.
No,
they have to practice.
He said, David, and it's exhibition games. It's just like practice,
They
except for you're going
no, it's
against
not like
real
practice
people.
because you can control the setting in your practice. You can't control the setting in a preseason
But you
game.
can't have
David.
non-contact injuries though. So
David,
of course, but that's
David,
not what we're.
Or you can have in practice. Your guys are going out there and somebody trips and falls.
You know what? Then everybody just stop living life. Go home, sit at home, do nothing because anything can happen.
Or you realize it's football and things just happen and you can't control anything. And it amazes me. Like, well, no, I don't want this. And what if that?
Well, then let me ask
guys,
you this:
it's big boy football.
If they played the starters, they played all their starters for just say a quarter. Goff gets hurt, Montgomery gets hurt, J-Mo gets hurt. You're not going to say, well, he shouldn't have played him.
No, David, I'm not going to. Andy Reid, coach of the back-to-back Super Bowl champions, has arguably the unicorn who says, I want to play in this game. Andy Reid's, if Mahomes gets hurt, then, man, you want to play? You're going to play. And they're moving on. But it's just I'm amazed that here in this city, grit and toughness, how all of a sudden, you can't play anybody because what if they get hurt? What if they get injured? Oh, my goodness.
But what's the difference between what Kansas City does and what most other teams do in the league?
Win?
No, joint practices.
And win?
Kansas City doesn't do a joint practice at all. So playing in the preseason makes sense because you're not going against anyone else.
But joint practice is controlled. Preseason's uncontrolled. And they're willing to roll the dice
but
and
my
play
point
their guys
is you're doing
all
it
three
against
games.
other players, not yours. So now you got more competition, more things going on in the practice versus if it's one-on-one against your guy.
Isn't the joint practice?
But you talk to coaches, they say they get much better work and much better gauge going up against their opponent in the joint practices than in the preseason games, even if they were going to play these guys for a quarter. They do because of what they want to work on. They want to work on the red zone stuff that in the preseason game they might not even get a chance to work on the red zone because there's not much scoring in these preseason games.
I mean, I look at the preseason game as actually what a real game would look like. You don't get a chance to dictate what's out there. You just got to know and react on the fly rather than script all of this stuff. Okay, we're going to work on that. I'm not saying they got to play the whole time. I would put them out there for a couple of series. 248-539-9797. That's just what I'm thinking. You guys may not care about it. What's your favorite hot dog condiment? So I don't get it. I don't understand. But apparently, like I said, I'm in the minority here. 97.1.